parts. Basically, the first part would be that we would take a very fast glimpse on pandas and how to do data visualization. But please, there would be another recorded panda session that it would go into details. This is just an overview. And then we would do together a very nice, simple game that is just you're using everything you learned in Python so far. So Pandas is a library that is used to just read and write tabular data, and you can basically use it to just read it and then do some analysis. And if you look here in this code, we are using some data set from Kaggle and uh, just basically loading the tables and looking into the data. I will not go into a lot of details in this part since there's a pre-recorded video about pandas, but you can see that you can get info about the data, what columns do you have, what are the data types for those columns. You can do things also like just getting the columns only or getting a description about each column, and you can see how many edges, like how many rows do you have, what is the average, what is the minimum, and like even the percentiles and things like that. It's quite powerful. You can select only certain columns that you want. You can do filters. You can do everything with the data with pandas. Pandas is the go-to in Python for data analysis like this. What we will be focusing more the first part is how you do plots, and here we will be discussing mainly Matplotlib. This is one of the famous libraries, but there is also another libraries that are nice and could be used in different situations, and we will be discussing one more down the line. So what we do here is that we are just creating a data frame. A data frame is like a table and we are filling it with just some random numbers. So, and then what, and let me run this. I have to go up and run the imports. And please, so during this session and the if you have any question, just raise your hand and let's have it as more of a discussion, more than a session. Actually, the next part you will be the one writing the code, not me. So raise your hand, speak, and send on chat. I'll try my best to keep my eye on the second screen. I have the chat open so I can see if anyone wants to say anything. If you have any comments, this is more of something that you can engage into than just listen. Okay, so let's do, yep, we didn't load a data frame, so we need to load a data frame first. And I'm gonna use the one here. Okay, so here in this code, I'm just importing pandas, then importing the Kaggle hub, downloading the database, the dataset, sorry, and loading it into a data frame. Then here I'm selecting a random sample of 1000 rows. And okay, and then we, okay, here I just imported Matplotlib. Usually you want to import also PLT this way. And here we are selecting a style. So a style is just how the plots would look like at the end, and you can select a style from all of those styles here. Okay, and then we will try two different types of plots. There is a lot of plots, and here just doing a line plot, what you need to do is that you have an array of x's, array of y, and you give it to plot like this. Then to add the title here, line plot example, this is the way you do it, and you put the axis, the x and the y axis, this is the names for them. So if I call this, for example, let's
Mohammed?
say, I'm sorry, yes.
Sorry. Yeah, so they're saying, can you increase the font just a little?
Yes. Is it better now?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so maybe in the x-axis, you can call this maybe your grade, and in the y-axis is maybe credits or something. And then you run it and you get just the two titles written. Matplotlib is quite simple and obvious. And now, yes, this will not work because I loaded the wrong data frame. So let me go up and fix this. At some point, I had switched the data frames. I have to run this one cell. Okay, this is the healthcare data set. So what is happening now is that the dataset I just loaded is not the dataset is used for the example at the plots. And I'm trying to get you the correct dataset. Okay, so that's nice. That's the whole point of today, honestly, is that we debug together. So let's start with this. We what we have is that data key error entry data does not exist, which means, okay, I'm trying to access this and this doesn't exist. So let me try to see what is inside the data frame here. If I just do data frame and do this, okay, those are the columns that we have. And yes, we don't have this entry date. But to be sure, I think I would like to see the columns. And in the columns here, you don't see an entry date. But it's called here date of admission. So let's fix this. Call it date of admission. And let's see what is inside date of admission. Let's make sure that it's correct. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. Let's try this. And now, oh, it tells you that it's not a date time. And this would be nice that we go up and go to the example here, where we did this. Okay, just trying to. Okay, so what we can do is that we cheat a little bit and we take this. So what is happening here? Let's go let's try to debug this a little bit more. Okay, what we have here is that a column, and the column, it appears to have dates, but does it? So let's try to see the data types of this. Okay. And I got this wrong. So how do you do this? Please don't use LLMs. Please. And you go, you read this. Okay, so it's described this way. What does this describe give me? Oh, it gives summary statistics, but I don't need this. I need to know the data types. So maybe describe is not the best function to use. What else can I use? Sorry, the SP was incorrect too. Not sure what you mean. But so can you suggest what other yeah, it's spelling, I know. Yeah. But it's not an issue with the spelling because if you do describe and you go here, you see it just give me a statistics. And what is happening here is that when I try to use date of admission dot date dot year, it's not working. Yes, exactly. I can use the D type. That's correct. What else can I do? Yes, so I can use D type on the column itself, then D type, and then I get the type, the data type of this. I think it was a function. No, it was not. Uh, it should be D type, but I don't know why it's saying zero. It should be string, by the way. Um, yes. Well, if you do type of, it will give you something unexpected. That's not what you expect usually. If you do this, yeah, it gives you a series because this is a series. Yes, someone said .info. Yep. And honestly, that's what I had in mind. And .info, it actually gives you here, and the data type here is object. Okay. Maybe that's why it was saying zero, not saying that this was a string. And actually, this is usually the case. You get the data, and the data would look messy, something like this, and you want to clean it. And that's why in the beginning of this notebook, we had, if we go up a little bit, after info, blah, 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 here, you see that we did actually clean this data a little bit. And I would actually just take this, use it. So what is happening for your info is that I ran this demo yesterday, but looks like the data frame changed a little bit. So I'm now rerunning with you and trying to figure out what is happening. And it's nice because that's the whole point of this tutorial, honestly. Okay, so what we want to do is that we want to use this one here. We want to fix the date of admission. And what we want to do is that we make it in the form of time. And after we do this, let's try to do one more time df.info and run it and see. Date of admission now, yeah, it's date, and that's good for us. And now let's try to run this. hopefully now it works. What we are doing is that we are accessing the year that is just equal 2022. And let's take a look at this 2022 data frame. Okay, good for us. There's a lot of um, what I would say, like records here. Okay, and we will be grouped by entry date. Okay, there is no entry date. I forgot. Sorry. Let's call it date of admission. And that's the amount of admission. What we are doing here is that we are grouping by date of admission. So each date would be like one row, and then we are doing cumulative sum. Basically, we are just counting how many dates that we had. So we have here a date, and there was 2 admissions, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then what we can do is that we can plot. How to plot this is that we'll simply just put the index, which would be the dates, and then you put the values, which would be the number of admissions. You can select a line style and a color if you want. Okay, usually you would forget how to do this, and basic way to do it is that just sorry, you come here, you can just click on command or control on Windows, and you see some examples how to do it and what are the inputs and things like that. But usually what you are encouraged to do is that just go with a very simple Google search to the documentations. Always read the docs, and you can go down and see, okay, other parameters, what are those? And you would usually find this line style here, and it says, okay, there's those line styles that you can use. This is solid line, this is dashed, there's dashed dot. So let's try to change it to this one. I like this, so let's do it. And then you see, it just changes the style. Okay, and then this is the same, but now we are changing the marker to this O, so it looks a little bit different. Okay, so here we are also just doing a graph, but now since this is an O marker, you can see there is this O here, or there's this dot here, and the line goes between them. And here, finally, so what I'm trying to show you here is that there is a lot of other types of plots that you can do. There is, for example, this area plots where you can have the area under the line shaded a little bit. Okay, this, by the way, this notebook would be available for you so you can deep dive into how to do every one of those, but I don't think that it's best to use the time to discuss syntax, as just give you idea how to do it. Here's another very famous type of plots, which is just bar plots. And in bar plots, what you do is that you uh, basically give it uh, an array that has this, or a data frame usually, that has this on the x's, you have a category or something like that, male, female, some diseases, and you have a bar chart in front of it. And it can also look like this, a very simple bar chart, or even if you want to do something advanced like this, where you have a female, and a female could be obese or have cancer or whatever, and you put it in one big bar chart like this. It's also doable. There is a lot of other tricks that you can do, and even the orientation you can change. So this is just an overview that how you can do it, and how you can look into the documentations, how to read it and how to discuss it. Okay, so I guess let's leave the visualization at this point here, and let's do the focus more on the project, and especially that in the project we will be doing some plots together, and we would be writing the code together.